Let the Dalai Lama
Return to Tibet!
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 Shame on Chinese government.
Shame!
Shame on Chinese government. We want. We want. We want. No human rights. No human rights. No human rights. Shame on Chinese government. Shame on Chinese government. Long live. Long live. Long live. Let the Dalai Lama. Let the Dalai Lama boycott China. Boycott China. Boycott China. United Nations. United Nations. United Nations. No more sleeping. No more sleeping. What do we want? What do we want? Dr. Chikti Nangol! Gamar Pene! Gamar Pene! Gamar Pene! Perangse! Perangse!
Tadang azu derim di test tari gyogu jogu yo sonza tanda guest speaker petu mendo di antiparu de sube tunro chokbe kuchop tang peden legu ba kushap Jack Arnold chone sungshe nang yui I would like to request now Mr. Jack Arnold, representative of Swiss Tibetan Friendship Association and activist, to address the gathering.
Tashidele, before starting my speech, I would like every one of us to 1 minute of silence in the memory of Tenzin Nima, 19 years old monk, jailed and tortured, died on the 19th of January. Kunchok Jimpa, 51 years old, jailed and tortured, died on the 6th of February. Lamo, a 36 years old mother of 3, jailed and tortured, died last August and was refused a proper traditional Buddhist ceremony. May they rest in peace. Let's have 1 minute silence, please. Today we celebrate the 62nd anniversary of the uprising of the Tibetan people in Lhasa. What does it mean for the younger generation who never had the chance to visit their homeland? A memory, but also a light in the darkness which encourages each and any of you to stand up against an evil party, the CCP. It is a never-ending struggle for freedom. Since so many years, China has failed to erase the essence of your people, of your religion, your language and your culture. It has been such a long journey for all of you inside and outside Tibet, but nevertheless, you are all standing united and convinced of the rightness of your fight. The younger generation must not give up their commitment, not only regarding their elders who have fought against fascism and cruelty, risking their own life, but must go on sharing their culture, their history with the whole world. We people of the free world, we are at your side to expand your ideals, your convictions and the right to be respected as a free nation. Today, the attention of the world is mainly focused on the Chinese coronavirus, which has changed all our habits. May we not lower the guards. China is greatly responsible for this situation. It shows to the world how they are used to disguise the truth. This same philosophy of lying and manipulating people and governments is brought to light at last. The CCP is behind every movement against democracy. They crush the Mongolians, the Uyghurs, the democratic Hong Kongers, the Burmese people, many African countries, and of course, you, the Tibetans. They manipulate laws for their own sake, such as the national security law in Hong Kong, which allows them to judge and condemn as they wish. But every day new groups are formed to support the rights of the minorities. They are mainly focused on the Uyghurs genocide, but through this struggle, the Tibetans shall not be forgotten as they suffer the same dictatorship. Everywhere, more and more people are becoming aware of the reality of the CCP politics to rule the world. A good news now. Today in the canton of Geneva, 16 communes have raised the Tibetan flag to support your cause. There has never been so much solidarity as now. You people of Tibet have a great history, a great culture, and first of all, a deep kindness towards all living beings. We supporters and people of the world have a lot to learn from you. You are the essence of life. We shall not fail to be at your side for as long as Tibet will be ruled by the CCP. Pagalo! Pagalo!
Thank you, Mr. Jack Arnold. 갑주딘베 소주 고첩슈니 갑주주베 소주촌에 코로나를 제다치피에 두지 3회 차시 답나로나 제림 구바 페리미마 갑 접제베 소조 까마추기 촌에 페미마 찌들 현속이 송진이 잘로 남겨 reading out the statement of Tibetan Parliament in exile by Ms. Karma Chökyi, new president of Tibetan Community, Switzerland and Liechtenstein.
토마데 튼주 궁우다 튼주 레제 간델라기 단다 지둘 행각이 아니 데 체리디 촉두 낭바텔랑이 같은 슈에이 땅에 마찰로 슈에 치고치레 슈에 Statement of the Tibetan Parliament in exile on the commemoration of the 62nd anniversary of Tibetan national uprising. Today, 10th March, marks the completion of 62 years since the Tibetan people revolted against the brutal occupation by the communist Chinese enemy. It was in order to be able to regain our freedom that the Tibetan people staged a mass uprising on this day. What we all need to remember is that for 1,000 years, Tibet was a self-governing independent nation. On this day in 1959, Tibetans from all walks of life in capital Lhasa, sharing one thought and feeling, rose up in an unprecedented act of demonstration against the illegal occupation of Tibet by the Communist Chinese. It was a historic event that began a new chapter in the history of Tibet. Today is the day to remember sacrifices made by all patriotic Tibetan men and women. The policy of violent repression followed by the Communist Chinese government in Tibet has long been impossible for the Tibetan people to live with. In order to make this explicit in a new phase of protests, Tibetans began to carry out self-immolation protests. Since 2009, 155 patriotic Tibetan men and women have sacrificed all, including their precious lives, and self-immolated as a form of political protest against the Chinese repressive rule and occupation of Tibet. Tenzin Nyima, also known as Tame, from Zavonba, died on 19 January 2021 after being severely beaten and tortured by the Chinese authorities for staging peaceful protest in November 2019. Kuncho Jimba died on 6 February 2021 due to torture. Similarly, a 36-year-old Lamu died after a series of interrogations and torture while in detention. Tibetan language rights activist Tashi Wangchu, who was jailed for 5 years, was released on 28 January this year after completing the prison term. However, it remains difficult to know about his actual whereabouts and situation. We call on the government of China to allow Tashi Wangchu to exercise all his basic human rights. Similarly, we urge China to disclose information about the situation of all Tibetan political prisoners, former Tibetan political prisoners, and the situation of the 11th Panchen Lama Gyaltsen Chökyi Nyima. Remembering all heroic men and women of Tibet who have sacrificed their precious lives for Tibet, we offer them our esteemed respect. For those who continue to suffer under the repression of Communist China, we express our deep concern and stand in solidarity. We owe our enormous gratitude to His Holiness the Dalai Lama and also express our gratitude to our elder generation for their efforts in all these difficult years, ensuring that the voice and freedom movement of the Tibetan people are heard across the world. In conclusion, we pray that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the protector and ultimate source of comfort for all sentient beings, in particular for Tibetan people, may live for 100 aeons, and that all his wishes be fulfilled and the just cause of Tibet attained with utmost certainty. The Tibetan people in Parliament, 10 March 2021. Thank you.
Pyrimim ma kapchubje be chozo kama chugi chola tu sheshet ha. An di jela Mixel kundre Geneva ngate chozo tumi kushap Amelo Duno chone sungshen nai. May I now request our special guest speaker, Aminul Duno, to address the gathering.
Liebe Freunde der Gesellschaft Schweiz-Tibetische Freundschaft, chers amis de la Société d'amitié suisse-tibétaine, es ist mir eine große Ehre, Sie anzusprechen und Sie als Vertreter des Genfer Großrats hier zu begrüßen. Genf hat eine lange Tradition als Zufluchtsort und humanitäres Zentrum. Diese Tradition geht zurück auf die Aufnahme von hugenotischen Flüchtlingen im 16. Jahrhundert. Im 19. Jahrhundert folgte sie mit der Ankunft von Flüchtlingen aus den liberalen Revolutionen. Nach dem Zweiten Weltkrieg werden neue Flüchtlinge aus Ungarn und Chile aufgenommen. Die Schweiz ist Sitz der Vereinten Nationen, Sitz des Amts des Hohen Flüchtlingskommissars der Vereinten Nationen, des Amtes des Hohen Kommissars für Menschenrechte, des Internationalen Komitees von Roten Kreuz und ist auch Wehrwahrer die Genfer Abkommen und ihre Zusatzprotokolle. Kanton Genf ist auch ein Pionierskanton in Bezug auf die Rechte, die Menschen ohne Legalstatus gewährt werden. In den früheren 90er Jahren wurde die Schulpflicht für alle Kinder ohne Papieren eingeführt. Danach wurden auch viele Vorschläge gemacht, um Migranten ohne gültige Papiere das Dualbildungssystem zu ermöglichen. Im Jahr 2000 gab es eine große Kampagne, die die kollektive Legalisierung aller undokumentierten Migranten forderten. Nach zahlreichen Treffen zwischen Verbänden, Gewerkschaften und Migranten ohne Papiere wurde eine Modus vivendi gefunden. Die systematische Denunziationen von undokumentierten Migranten durch alle staatlichen Stellen wurde ebenso unterbunden wie der Eifer der Polizeikontrollen. Kürzlich, im Rahmen des befristeten Pilotprojekts Papyrus, gab Genf 3000 Menschen ohne gültige Aufenthaltsgenehmigung die Gelegenheit, ihren Aufenthaltsstatus zu regeln. Die Kriterien dafür waren streng, aber klar. Operation Papyrus war ein großer Erfolg. Liebe Freunde der Gesellschaft Schweiz-Tibetische Freundschaft, chers amis de la Société d'amitié suisse-tibétaine, die Freundschaft zwischen unseren beiden Völkern, das schweizerische Volk und das tibetische Volk, begann im Jahre 1963, als die Schweizer Regierung den Beschluss fasste, 1000 Tibetierinnen und Tibetern eine neue Heimstätte anzubieten. Seither haben wir uns kennen und schätzen gelernt. Insbesondere auch würdigen wir den sehr wichtigen Beitrag der tibetischen Kultur, Lebensweise und Lebensweisheit für die gesamte Menschheit. Unsere Freundschaft hat bis heute eine schöne Win-Win-Situation geschaffen. Die Integration von Tibetierinnen und Tibetern in der Schweiz gilt als Vorzeigebeispiel. Tibeter bringen sich auf allen sozialen und wirtschaftlichen Ebenen der Gesellschaft mit ein. Nicht wenige unter euch sind selbstständige Unternehmer. Aufgrund der immer größeren Unterdrückung durch China und der systematischen Verfolgung der abweichenden Meinung in Tibet gab es weitere tibetische Asylwellen in der Schweiz. Seit einigen Jahren beobachten wir leider eine rasche Annäherung des Schweizer Bundes zur chinesischen Regierung auf wirtschaftlicher und politischer Ebene, mit dem Höhepunkt im 2014 durch den Abschluss des Freihandelsabkommens Schweiz-China. Wir beobachten zeitgleich eine Verhärtung des Staatssekretariats für Migration im Asylprozess gegenüber den tibetischen Asylsuchenden, was zur katastrophalen Situation der etwa 300 tibetischen Sans-Papiers geführt hat. Deshalb ist die Aufgabe der Gesellschaft Schweiz-Tibetischer Freundschaft wichtiger denn je. Wir werden nicht tolerieren, dass chinesische Agenten in der Schweiz tibetische Asylsuchenden beschnüffeln. Ein großer Etappenerfolg ist hier, dass der diesbezügliche Geheimvertrag zwischen der Schweiz und China nun nicht mehr erneuert werden wird. Das ist tatsächlich ein großer Erfolg der tibetischen Gemeinschaft und der Freunde des Tibets, der Menschenrechtsorganisationen und der Sans-Papier-Unterstützungsgruppierungen. Wir werden nicht tolerieren, dass die offizielle Schweiz Tibeterinnen und Tibeter einfach als Chinesischen bezeichnet. Wir werden nicht tolerieren, dass hier einige 100 Sans-Papiers lange Lebensjahre in einem angstvollen Schwebezustand verbringen müssen. Wir werden nicht zulassen, dass die offizielle Schweiz den Dalai Lama weiterhin ignoriert und der chinesischen Schreckenherrschaft opfert. Wir werden nicht tolerieren, dass Tibet und was jede Minute, jede Stunde, jede Woche, jedes Jahr Tibet und dem tibetischen Volk in seinem eigenen Land angetan wird, einfach vergessen wird. Chers amis de la Société d'amitié suisse-tibétaine, dear Tibetan friends, today we are pleased, very pleased, that no less than 16 communes of the canton of Geneva have decided to raise the Tibetan flag within their premises. As you know, the friendship between our two people started to flourish with your arrival in Switzerland 60 years ago. Today, my dear friends, you form the largest Tibetan community in exile outside India. Our friendship, this friendship, like all friendship, must be maintained and kept alive. In Switzerland, regrettably, as I said earlier in German, there is a tendency to abide by the will of the great powers, to put business ahead of humanitarian interest, to favor commercial interest over the defense of the universal values of human rights. Tibetans, you must know you are not alone. In Switzerland, there are many of us who support your demands, who wants that China respect your culture, respect your environment, respect your economic and social needs. And you're right. Suffering under the domination of the single party and the Chinese army, you are not alone in fighting for your rights, in fighting for your survival, in fighting for your life. Other peoples, other regions under Chinese yoke are rising up today, showing their dissatisfaction and revolt, such as the Uyghurs, the Mongols, the inhabitants of Hong Kong. Taiwan also struggles to maintain its independence. In China itself, Very regrettably, many people are severely punished when expressing their disagreement and that with the government, when expressing their demand for freedom of expression and opinion, when expressing their rejection of dictatorship. Dear friends from the Tibetan community, dear friends from the Gesellschaft Schweiz-Tibetischen Freundschaft, your non-violent struggle is also ours. Your non-violent struggle is that of all the people of the world who are deprived of their rights. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel, for your wonderful speech and all the support. 아니, Mr. Emmanuel Cholaya, 아주 비리미망문에 제다치다 투질리 부치도스피아이 삼에 차답나로나. 삼에 차답나로나. Thank you very much. DJ야 캠베 나이.
폐기다보 공사장위 전부 마차 랑쇼 롱리 welcome COVID-19 stop killing Tibet belong to Tibet is burning what we want no more sleeping wake up Marcha lonely let's start the Dalai Lama what we want China life Marcha 공사장 위치모 폐기된다 no more sleeping Tibet is burning stop killing we want what we want no more sleeping 폐기된다 공사장 위치모 lonely Tibet. No more sleeping. Tibet belong to. Tibet belong to. We want justice. We want justice. Stop killing. Stop killing. Stop.
Long live! Long live! Let the Dalai Lama! Let the Dalai Lama! Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Chinese government! Stop the killing! Stop the killing! We want justice! We want justice! United Nations! United Nations! We want dialogue! We want dialogue! Release all the political prisoners! Release all the political prisoners!